safety is the state of being safe or the condition of being protected from harm or other non-desirable outcomes. Safety can also refer to the control of recognized hazards in order to achieve an acceptable level of risk. Constructing safe structures or providing safe working environment is a factor in successful construction business. Concern of safety starts from design stage and continues till the facility is delivered to the owner. Not only does safety on construction sites protect workers, but it also keeps the public safe. Construction sites are usually located in busy areas where the general public is coming and going. So falls, being struck by an object, electrocution, or being caught in between equipments. These are the four most common causes of accidental deaths and other injuries. Inadequate safety protocols can allow objects to fall on an innocent bystanders, putting people not even connected to the project at high risk. So, having a culture of safety practices and awareness, this reduces the risk of the types of accidents. As discussed on your course subject, you might have encountered this set of safety terminologies, but we'll just take a review. Accident. This is an undesired event that results in harm to people and also damage to property or loss. Incident. This is a term used under circumstances that could have resulted in harm to people, damage to property, or loss. In short, this incident is a term used for near-miss instances. And safety, it is the control of hazards to attain an acceptable level of risk. Control, this means to regulate or restrain. Risk is the chance or likelihood of physical and personal loss. Hazards, these are unsafe source of practices or conditions that, if not controlled, it may lead to the occurrence of an accident or an incident. For unsafe practices or unsafe act, these are behaviors which could permit the occurrence of an accident or incident. Behaviors. Unsafe practices or act. This is also a deviation from standard procedure or practices. And unsafe conditions, these are circumstances which could permit the occurrence of accident or incident. Take note if it is unsafe practices or act, these are the behaviors. If it is unsafe conditions, these are circumstances. Both are deviation from standard conditions, but for unsafe conditions, this refers to the equipment, materials, or the environment. For safety program, it is an activity or written document designed to assist management and employees in the recognition, evaluation, and control of workplace hazards. Safety audit is the critical examination of the safety and health management programs, which determines effectiveness and also compliance to regulatory standards. PPE or personal protective equipment. These are wearable devices used to protect workers from injury or illness resulting from contact with could be chemical, radiological, physical, electrical, mechanical, or other workplace hazards. PPEs are also equipment that creates a barrier against workplace hazards. Examples of unsafe acts versus unsafe conditions are as follows. Under unsafe acts, we have operating equipment without authority, while unsafe condition, inadequate guard or barriers. Unsafe act, failure to warn. For unsafe condition, inadequate or improper protective equipment or PPE. We also have failure to secure for unsafe acts. While at unsafe condition, we have defective tools, equipment, or materials, and etc. As we observe here, we have an example. These are 4 different pictures showing the difference of unsafe condition, unsafe act, incident or near miss, and accident. For unsafe condition, layers of boxed parcels are loaded above. For unsafe act, a person must avoid walking under the hazard, or it would be better if those parcels to be put to proper place to avoid impending harm. Near miss or incident, if the box of parcels are still above, then it might cause incident or accident to a person. Incident happens when when some of the boxes falls down and nearly hitting someone or a person who fortunately moved aside or took quick action to save himself. Kumbaga, nailagan niya, kaya di siya na-aksidente. That is incident. For accident, on the other hand, a person might have experienced a physical accident due to this falling parcel. Next, we have the facts and figures from OSH in the construction industry. 17% of the surveyed companies have experienced death in their present workplace. 71% no first aid station. 72% of the workplace do not have trained first aid personnel. 6 out of 10 claim that PPE were not issued to them, which is the liability of the contractor. 17% of the surveyed companies accounted disability. 21% of the surveyed companies reported major injuries, while 42% have minor injuries occurring in their surveyed job sites, and 2 out of 10 who used lifelines. All accidents, whether minor occupational incidents or major accidents, this costs money. It is normally straightforward to identify and quantify direct costs, such as emergency response expenses and regulatory fines, but there are often indirect costs which are hidden, less well understood, and seldom easy to quantify. For example, it may be a simple calculation to work out the direct cost of wages that still need to be paid when an injured employee is off work for a week, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. It is much more challenging to estimate the indirect cost of redistribution of the injured party's workload, the selection and the training of replacement, or even the effects of reduced morale amongst the workforce. Hidden cost of accident. We have here an iceberg. For direct cost, we have the medical and the compensation. That is the tip of the iceberg. While under the surface, we have the indirect cost, which are time lost from work by the injured, lost time by fellow worker, damage to tools and equipment, time damaged equipment is out of service, spoiled work, lost time by supervisor hidden cost, loss of production, litigation cost, and also damage to corporate image. The predominant items in construction safety are as follows. We have the ladders. Next, we have scaffold, excavation and shoring, tunneling, hoist and crane, heavy equipment, barricades, blasting and then formworks. We also have public protection, which includes signages, safety netting, fences, and permitted hours of work also. Construction is a high-hazard industry that comprises a wide range of activities involving construction, alteration, and also repair or rehabilitation or improvement. Construction workers engage in many activities that may expose them to serious hazards, such as falling from rooftops, unguarded machinery, being struck by heavy construction equipments, electrocution again, and also we have the chemical, silica dust, and asbestos. In order to provide safe and healthy working environment, take time to observe the following instances which might be involved as source of hazard. We have under safety and health management. Unsafe practices may start due to poor compliance on OSH committee or organization of safety health committee. And then we have recording and reporting of accidents or illnesses, poor compliance on employment of safety and health personnel. Then we have provision of adequate first aid medicines. For underlifting devices, the safe working load might not be indicated. This must be shown especially on the equipment's capacity or the SWL. Next, under steelworks, workers must be provided with scaffolds, and there must be safety belt and lifelines. Under housekeeping, obstructed passageways. One problem could be accumulated waste, and then floor and wall opening. Under farm works, there must be provision of helmet and safety shoes, and there must be proper handling of tools also. For welding and flame cutting, smoking while working is prohibited. There must be provision of fire extinguishers and also goggles and gloves for our welders. For scaffolding, what went wrong in our construction site? There could be a problem with the provision of guardrails or midrails. We have also the toe boards, problems in providing access ladder, cross bracing, and anchorage. Under temporary electrical facilities, undersized service entrances are also a problem. Improper spacing of wires, wires installed in scaffolds, and also live wires on wet floor or untaped splices, open safety switches, burned out fuses replaced by copper wires, and improper grounding. Under woodworking machine, problems would arise if there's no mechanical guards or machine guards, and there are no push stick, for example. Under ladder and stairs, problem arise if your materials are defective, if there are unsafe positions, the ladder don't have a handhold. And under excavation, problems arise if there are no barrier around excavations, if your equipment vehicles parked near the edge of excavation, your excavation don't have shoring or timbering, and also no access ladder. Problems also arise in PPE if there's poor compliance from workers, no obstruction to job, cannot afford to buy. If your contractor cannot afford to buy a PPE, that would be a problem. And if your workers are also not aware of hazards, and problem also arise if there's no orientation on the proper use of PPE. PPE or personal protective equipment, this refers to the protective clothing, helmets, goggles, or other garments or equipment designed to protect the wearer's body from injury or infection. The hazards addressed by PPE include physical, electrical, heat, chemicals, biohazards, and airborne particulate matter. The types of PPE, we have the head protection, eye and face protection, hearing protection, respiratory protection, arm and hand protection, foot and leg protection, and also we have the protective clothing. In conclusion, construction includes large number of methods like demolition, earthwork, digging shafts or tunnels, concreting, structural steel erections, drilling, piling, welding, and electrical fittings. All methods are hazardous and performed under normal working conditions by unskilled workers. Falls from scaffold, ladders, roof, and other heights, failure of structure due to collapse, damage due to fire, and other mishaps may result in safety failures. So, if you plan to have a successful project outcome, considering construction manpower safety is a must.